I know it's 6:03. I started it at 6, but for some reason the connection got delayed, so we here. I got my drink. This was so last minute because I didn't have time to go get anything, so I just used stuff that I had in my house. I literally had in my freezer, I had peaches, mangoes, I had some strawberries in my fridge from yesterday, some orange juice, and some Patron, and I just put it in the smoothie blender, and I made something. What y'all got? People that are over 21. If you're under 21, get a sparkling drink or some water. This is my first time ever on live, so if I'm a little bit slow reading the comments, bear with me. What kind of wine you got, Amani? Frenchie's here too. Somebody said I'm smooth 23 and I'll be drinking water. I need to be drinking water too, but I feel like I deserve this. I can't hold him for too long because he's already like 25 pounds, so you're gonna have to go back on the floor. But he'll be right here. So what do y'all want to know? Like, ask me questions. I wanted to talk mostly about like my journey and how I got here and like just the whole process, because just thinking back on it, it has been so long. It doesn't feel like it's been as long as it really has, because when I look back, I posted my first YouTube video on, I think like June something of 2014. So it's been like 6 years, almost 7 years, and it doesn't even feel like it's been that long. And thank you guys for all the congratulations. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to all your messages on Instagram. Actually, trying to get my drink. Stop it. He's not slick. In my hair, I just use the Jerry Curl Juice stuff because I've been obsessed with it ever since I've tried it. So I use that, and I use the Wet Line Extreme Gel. That's been my go-to since. Frenchie says thank you too for all the compliments. I wish I was in the Caribbean right now. You're lucky. Okay, so let me think. I think the biggest thing that I would say for anybody that's trying to start YouTube now is to just do it, because it's a lot different than it was when I started. There wasn't as much pressure to have this quality content. There wasn't as much pressure to know everything, because in the beginning, everyone was learning. But now everybody is kind of coming to YouTube already knowing their stuff. And so it's kind of overwhelming to feel like you're in a space where you have to already know everything, but you don't. You can just start and you'll learn as you go. Still to this day, I'm still learning as I go. There's still a lot of things that I'm trying to figure out and like the best way to do it for me, because another thing is like having tunnel vision, because it's so easy to compare yourself to other people. Like there's people that started YouTube maybe a year or two ago and they're already at like 1 million subscribers. So look at me, who started in 2014, and I'm just now getting to 300,000. So you have to have tunnel vision and just keep doing what feels right for you. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry if I say it wrong. Rabina. I'm just gonna go with Rabina. I want to learn how to make good green tea, because every time I try to make it, it don't come out good. And I feel like I did a really good job with this for it being my first time coming up with something like 10 minutes before. And I love red wine too. Super Kiana 123. I'm really behind on comments, so y'all give me a second. Cat Pilot asks, how did you figure out what your main topic was going to be? So I started with natural hair just because when I went natural, a lot of people kept asking me like what I was using on my hair. And back then I was only 16 when I went natural. So a lot of people my age were not going natural. It was not the wave. Like, actually, a lot of people talked about me because they were like, what are you doing with your hair? Like, straight hair is a look. But I just was so curious about what my hair looked like because I struggled for so long with having perms. It was just like, every time I would think my hair would grow, I would have to end up cutting it because it was just so thin. It was so stringy. And so I wanted to go natural because I was so curious about what my natural hair would look like. And then from there, everybody, like I said, was just asking me questions about my hair. And I've always had a love for like filming and video. So I just combined my love for natural hair with filming, and I just started posting. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I started a channel with my friends, like, I want to say 2013, maybe a year before I started my solo channel. And that's how I kind of got introduced to YouTube. So it was a lot easier to start a channel with a group of people because it's not as nerve-wracking to sit on camera when you're with your friends. So I started on YouTube with my friends, and then after a year, we just kind of split apart and we started doing our own things. So I grew from there. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been here since True Sage because, like, when I think about it, a lot of people from True Sage came over to my channel and have been here ever since. So let me know in the comments or in the little chat if you've been here since True Sage and if you remember when I used to do videos with my friends. What would you say? Oh no, would you say the same would apply for moving up in the corporate world? The thing is, okay, I graduated from college last year and I have a major in digital marketing, if you guys didn't know, which is basically what I do. But I actually went into college in business, but then I ended up switching to digital marketing when I got bigger on YouTube, and I was like, okay, this is what I want my focus to be. So I don't really know anything about the corporate world because when I graduated last year, I tried to get jobs, like a 9-to-5 job, and not only did I not get a job, but every time I would get close to getting one, they'd be like, no, we're going to go with another candidate, or no, you're not qualified. Because my whole time in college, I was focused on YouTube. I didn't do like internships. I did one internship my entire college career, and I didn't learn anything. It was like a major PR firm in Miami Beach, and I didn't learn not one thing. They didn't help me with learning anything. Like, I was just kind of there doing coffee girl work. Like, I would bring people drinks. It was just not, I don't know. I didn't really have a good experience in that, which is why I went so hard with my YouTube. But I feel like with anything that you do, it's important to stay focused on what you're doing because somebody else can tell you that you need to improve on something or this is what you have to do to get better. But at the end of the day, it's really about finding your place in whatever it is you're doing. And nobody else can really tell you how to do that. So I would definitely say tunnel vision goes the same for corporate world or anything that you're doing in life. Destiny King asks random, but where did you get your satin robes? I get that question all the time. Most of them I get off Amazon, and on my Amazon store, I have a little section for pamper routine stuff. And in there, I think I put most of the robes that I bought off Amazon, but some of them I actually got sent to me. Like, of course, the Sephora Squad robe I got sent to me. And then the floral robe that I wore in my Jackie Aina Forever Mood review, that one was also sent to me from Pixie Beauty. So a lot of the stuff that I have, you guys ask me about, and I'm like, it kind of got sent to me, and I don't think they sell it. Let me go back up because I know I missed some questions. And thank you guys again for all the congratulations. I really appreciate it. And I'm not drinking enough, so let me take another sip. Oh, this is a good question. Astrofiend26 said, you said you usually keep to yourself, so how do you deal with having so many eyes on you? The good thing about social media is that you can control what you post. So I'm just very particular about the things that I share. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't really do a lot of vlogs. I don't really do a lot of like lifestyle things. I mostly just share things that are related to beauty or things that are related to like personal development without being super direct. So like even in my self-care videos, I might mention something or I might mention a situation that happened to me, but I won't be specific to the point where it's like, yeah, this person did this and this happened. Like I'm not really, I can be vague, but still give like advice. So that's pretty much what I do. I just control what it is that I put out. And when people ask me questions, if I don't want to share it, I just don't share it. Like there's certain things that I feel comfortable talking about, and there's certain things that I don't. Like, I feel like as you get older too, you start to learn the things that you feel comfortable talking to people about, especially with personal things like a relationship or just like anxiety or things that you deal with personally. You learn to filter what it is that you share, because people on the internet are mean. Like, people on the internet are bullies. And I learned that if you guys have been here since when I shared my relationship 2 years ago, I think, like after that whole thing ended, like I went through so much with people coming at me for the situation. And then once that happened, I was like, okay, I can't share everything. So sometimes it's trial and error, because you might post something and then realize, okay, maybe that's not the best thing to post. And then from there, you filter the things that you share. And like the more private you are with the things that you really care about, the better, because people are so mean. I am so behind. So give me a second. Hold on. I just want to address this one. Nisa's World said, wow, 6 years, and I'm here feeling stressed out because it's hard work. I would just like to hear your process over the years. It is hard work, and it gets harder. I don't want to scare you, but it gets harder. I got to a point where I got stuck because I feel like, okay, let's just start from the beginning and go to where I am now, so I can kind of give you guys an idea of each stage of where I was and how I got to where I am. So like I said, I started on YouTube with my two friends, and then we split. And then after a year, I started my own channel, and that was in 2014. Back then I had a lot of energy and I had a lot of time because I was still in high school when I started my YouTube channel. So I didn't have any real responsibilities. I didn't have any obligations. So I would just, whenever I wasn't at school or I wasn't at like dance rehearsal or something, I would be at home filming. And that became like a hobby for me. So it wasn't like I was necessarily trying to reach a goal. Like, I was just sharing things because it was what I like to do. And I took advantage of everything. So back then, like 2014, that's when Tumblr was also popping. So I would post a lot of pictures on Tumblr. I would post like my hair routines on Tumblr. I would post just like anything. I would post on Tumblr, and a lot of people follow me on my YouTube from there. And then that's when I realized like how important it is to connect all your social medias to your YouTube channel. So around like 2015 is when I moved from Baltimore, Maryland. I came to Miami for college. And that's really when I started getting popular on Instagram, because again, I would just start posting. I would post my hair, even just pictures of my hair sometimes would go viral. So I would post pictures of my hair, pictures of makeup tutorials I was doing, and just connecting my Instagram and even Snapchat, Tumblr, all those things to my YouTube channel would bring people from there to YouTube. Because YouTube is kind of iffy. Like, they don't really be putting you out there like that. So you can't rely on YouTube to promote yourself. You have to promote yourself on other platforms. So yeah, I would just connect everything. And like I said, in 2015 is when I went to college, and that was a whole nother struggle because I was in a dorm. So I didn't have like the space that I have now to film. I would have to film in my little dorm. Luckily for me, I went to FIU, and even as a freshman, we all had our own individual rooms, which was really important for me when I was picking a college, because I knew I wanted to continue doing YouTube. So I'm like, okay, I need to be somewhere that at least has a nice looking dorm or has like some privacy so I can do my own videos. So I would do videos when I wasn't in class, or if I wasn't in like an extracurricular activity, I would be in my dorm room posting the same things: natural hair, makeup, skincare. And I feel like it wasn't really until 2017 that I took off, because that's when I was posting the most consistent. So like, even when I went to college, it was very inconsistent for me because my schedule was always inconsistent. It was really hard for me to like have a definite schedule. And even though it was hard, it taught me time management, and it taught me how to create a schedule for myself. So when I look back at it, it's like, even though it was hard and I didn't really understand it, like the lessons that I got out of it, like time management, learning how to create a schedule for myself, those were all tools that I needed to be where I am now and be able to work on my own. Because people think it's just like getting in front of a camera and posting videos, and it's not like that. Like, you have to plan what you're going to do in advance. You have to have, sometimes for me, I even had to have like a script almost of what I'm gonna say. You guys know I like editing and I like having different angles and different things like that. So those are things that I also have to write out in advance, like this angle at this time, or me planning ahead, like I want this shot at this angle, like all those things. The pre-production stage for me has always been longer than the actual production. So like I said, when I was in college, it really taught me time management because I had to juggle YouTube, I had to juggle school, and always had a part-time job all the way through college, because that's kind of how I funded my YouTube channel. That's the only way I was able to fund getting a good camera, getting a good computer, getting lighting. Like I only had a ring light back then, but it still cost money, especially as a college student. So even though I wasn't making a lot of money through YouTube, I always had a part-time job to be able to fund my YouTube stuff, which was not easy to maintain. But because I knew I wanted to do YouTube, I had to do what I had to do, to get what I wanted. And so that's another thing too. Like when you decide you want to do something, you have to see it further than where you are in that current moment. Because if I would have just been like, okay, I'm going to do YouTube, I would have never planned ahead to get a job, to get the money that I needed, to buy the camera that I needed, to grow my YouTube. I probably would have still had the same camera that I had when I began YouTube, which was an iPhone 6 when I first started. My mom did buy me a camera, but when I got to college, I tried not to ask my parents for too much because they had did so much for me before I left. So after my mom brought me my first camera, which I don't even know what kind of camera it was like a flip type of camera. It wasn't good quality. I knew I had a goal to buy a new camera, so I did what I had to do to get it. And so I just kept doing it all through college. Once I graduated college, I had no idea what I was going to do because I live in Miami and it's very expensive to live here. So the only options that I had was to either figure out how to keep making enough money from YouTube and stuff to stay, or go back home. And going back home was not an option. Didn't want to go home. So by the time I graduated, though, I did have a good job. I worked at Apple. I still work at Apple. And that also helped me to fund my YouTube consistently, because from there I was able to keep getting better equipment. But once I graduated, because all through college I didn't have bills. Like the only thing that I paid for was food. Even like my car payment, things like that, my parents took care of. In college, I had scholarships and stuff, so I didn't really have to worry about paying for anything until I graduated. So it was like a huge adult shock for me when I had to pay rent. I had to pay for my car payment. I had to pay for my water, my lights, like all these things just started hitting me at once. I didn't have a full-time job. I still wasn't making consistent money from YouTube at that time, even though I had been doing it for so long. I wasn't getting sponsorships consistently. So I don't think you guys remember, or maybe some of you guys do remember, but I almost quit. Like I was gonna go to cybersecurity school and just work towards that and do that full time once I got to that point, because I was like, I can't do this. Like the money was just too inconsistent and I just felt like I was drowning. And on top of that, at that point, I was not growing on YouTube. I think I had a decent amount of subscribers, like probably a little over 200K by this time. This was 2019, last year. And I was about to give up because I wasn't growing. I wasn't making the money that I thought I could make. And you're going to get to a roadblock where it's like, okay, I'm not growing. I'm running out of ideas. I'm not making the money that I need. I have to do something else. So I kind of did switch for a little bit. I went to school for like 2 weeks and I hated it. So that's when I realized that, okay, I know I want to be my own boss. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do to get there, but I knew YouTube was going to be the beginning, or like the way that I was going to get to where I wanted to be. Because the end goal for me was to always have my own business. So I just kept posting. Like, even though I wasn't making a lot of money, I wasn't getting sponsorships. I literally just kept posting. And so at the end of 2019 is when I was like, okay, I'm still not growing the way that I want to grow. I'm not making the money that I want to make. What is the next step? Like, what is it? What can I do now? So I was talking to another influencer. I can't remember who it was, so I don't want to just say somebody's name and be wrong. But somebody was like, you should look into getting a manager. And that scared me because I was always used to doing my own thing. Like, I was always used to just doing all the email stuff, doing all the creative stuff, just managing myself pretty much, even though I wasn't making a lot of money. And so I just started researching people. I just started researching the managers that other influencers had, paying attention to the type of deals that they were getting people. And I found a few, but Images Everything stood out to me because I followed Kathleen. I have been following Kathleen for a long time, and I didn't know that she had a management, but I connected the dots when I started looking in like her captions and stuff. And so I found them and they kind of found me. And then from there, I had management. So like in the beginning of 2020 is when I was connected to Images Everything. And now Miss J. Gray, if you're here, I don't even know if she's here, but if you're here, shout out to her because I don't even know if she knows this. I'm going to talk to her soon to let her know, but she completely like blew me at how quick and how fast she was able to show me my worth. Because at a point where when you get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm stuck, I'm not growing, maybe this is not what I'm supposed to do. She came in and she was getting me deals after deals after deals. And I was like, okay, I didn't even know that I could get this type of money. I didn't know I could get these type of deals. I didn't know that these people were interested in what I was doing. And she like, I can't even express. And like I said, I was nervous about getting a manager because I was like, I don't want to get, effed over. I don't want someone to steal my money. I don't want to get scammed. But like I said, it has just been the best thing for me. So that was in the beginning of this year. So 6-7 years in is when I got a manager. There's some influencers that get managers right ahead. There's some people that do better without management. For me, I needed a manager because I didn't have any structure in what I was doing. And I also wasn't really good at negotiating. Like I used to just take deals, I would just take them and not really like calculate how much I was actually worth. So that's another reason why I wasn't making a lot of money, because I wasn't asking for the money that I should have been asking for. And so now I don't have to worry about that. Like she knows what she's doing. She takes care of all that. And it has just helped me so much. And like I said, it opened my eyes to realize like I'm definitely worth a lot more than what I thought I was. And it gave me the confidence to post more. It gave me the confidence to do more organic content because I felt like, okay, companies actually like what I'm doing, so I should keep doing it, And so I don't know. It just, for me, it was like just step after step after step. I didn't realize what was happening in that moment, but like when I look back at it, everything that I did before got me to where I am now. Even with the Sephora Squad thing, I don't think that if I would have stayed with natural hair, I would have even been considered for the Sephora Squad. And makeup still is not like my forte. Like you guys know, I like natural looks for the most part. So at first I didn't even think that I fit the profile to be in the Sephora Squad, but apparently, I am, or I do. So just me branching out, me being open to always learning, like not being afraid to try new things, looking at my situation and figuring out how I can make it better. That's how I grew. And with YouTube specifically, I still don't understand the algorithm, to be honest with y'all. Like there are some videos that I don't think are going to do well. And then they get like 100K views in a day. And I'm like, sometimes it's even the videos that I don't spend a lot of time working on that do the best. And then the videos that I put so much effort into, they don't even do that well. So it's like, sometimes you just have to post because you never know how people are going to react. And like I said, it's the ones that you don't even think twice about that end up going viral. So that was literally my whole journey. And how long was I talking? Maybe 20 minutes? I hope that I was able to give you guys a lot of tips and insight through all that, because that's like my journey is what taught me how to get to where I am. And that's why I always emphasize how important it is to walk in your own journey, because like everybody's journey is going to be different. And that's another reason why, like, you guys know Jackie Aina. She just reached like 1 million maybe 2 years ago, and she's been on YouTube since YouTube was created, like in 2009 maybe. And look at her now. Like, you have to just keep going. And I'm sure she had a lot of roadblocks and things that confused her and things that, made her want to stop too, but she kept going. And now people literally bow at her feet. So you just gotta keep going. I am still so behind. Let me go back up and read some of the questions. Oh, you are here. Hey, Jay, if you're still here. I know I was talking for a long time. Stay in the city. Y'all, I love I don't know what your real name is. I'm so sorry. I go by people's Instagram names and YouTube names, but I'm obsessed with Faye in the City. I feel like I was watching you before I even knew that you were who you are, just because I was so obsessed with your personality. If y'all are not following her, go follow her right now, because her videos, her personality, like, it's everything. There's a whole bunch of like really good people that I feel like are not getting the recognition that they deserve. And hopefully I can help get more eyes to those people. Jay Burrell says, I think influencers should talk about the struggle and wanting to give up more often. I have a small channel and I question if I should be doing YouTube and quitting a lot. Trust me. Even recently, there were times where I was like, okay, maybe I should change directions or I should do something else. But there are just little signs that you get sometimes that are like, no, this is what I'm supposed to do. I gotta keep going. Super Kiana said, how do you find a decent work, play, and life balance? I still don't. My work time is my work time. My play time is my work time. And my balance is anything in between that. Like, it's really difficult because, especially as an influencer, your life is your life. How do I say this? Your life is literally like your job, because especially when you get to the point where you want to monetize your influence, you find that the more you post about yourself or the more you post about the things that you like, the more money you can make. So sometimes it's kind of hard to be like, okay, what things do I want to keep personal and what things do I want to share with people to make money off of? And that was another thing that I really struggled with before, was like just figuring out what it is I wanted to monetize, because I would just post things. You guys have been here for a while, you know that I would just, anything that I liked, I would just post it. No links, no ads, just, y'all, I love this thing, go check it out. And then the person would probably make money and I would just make nothing. So that's another thing too. It's really hard to find balance, but I find that the older I get too, I'm finding more things that I like to do outside of YouTube, because I started it so young. So it was one of the only things that I knew, you know, especially as a teenager. So now that I'm getting older, I'm spending more time doing other things that I like, and I'm able to keep those things to myself. So I try to take at least one day where I'm not posting, which is still hard, because even when I'm not posting, I'm still tempted to read emails, or I'm still tempted to like scroll on Instagram, or I'm still tempted to see what's going on. And I just have to sometimes put my phone down and not look at it and not think about it. Because like I said, your life can become your job, and that's not healthy. Let me see. Let me go back up. I'm so behind. If I read a question that was like 10 minutes ago, forgive me. Oh, how long do you spend editing? What percentage of YouTubing is editing? So when I first started and I didn't know what the heck I was doing, hold on, I'm not sipping enough. When I first started and I didn't know what I was doing, I think it might have took me like maybe 5 or 6 hours to edit one video. But now I kind of have my own little flow. Like, I have my own little process of what I do. So I would say maybe if it's a short video that doesn't require like voiceovers or doesn't require a lot of text overlays and things like that, I could probably edit it in like 2 hours. But if I want to be very detailed, or if it requires voiceovers or extra things, I think the max time that I spend on a video is 4 hours. But to me, it flies by, because I've always enjoyed editing. I don't think I would ever like hire somebody to edit my videos or hire somebody for that part of what I do, because it just feels like the whole editing process is what makes my videos me, is what makes, you know, my aesthetic what I do. So even though it sounds like a long time to like you're sitting at the computer for 4 hours, it doesn't really feel like it when I'm doing it. Like, I just kind of be in my zone. And because I used to do it as a hobby, now that I'm still doing it, it doesn't really feel like work most of the time, unless it's sponsored content, because people be so specific sometimes. And I get frustrated sometimes trying to follow different qualifications that brands have. But I just always try to put my own twist into it and have fun with it. I always loved music. So I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I always try to like coordinate my music to what I'm doing sometimes. Or if I can throw in like a tune that I think people will like or that will keep people watching, I'll do that. And I enjoy listening to it while I'm editing. So I just try to find little ways to make it more enjoyable for myself and make it more unique to me. That's another reason why I always get questions like, when are you going to start doing videos on how you create your content or like how you edit? And I'm like, I can't do that. Not only because the process of recording type videos like that is ridiculous, but I just feel like I don't want to share like my whole creative side of things. Like I don't mind showing technical stuff, like the camera I use, the lights I use. But like when you get in detail, like you can't share too much, you know, because people are gonna do what you do. I've seen it happen. Like certain influencers will post how they create their Instagram TV videos or how they edit their YouTube videos, and then everybody's doing it. So it's like it's not even unique to them anymore. So that's another thing. Create your own aesthetic in your own style, because people will take it from you or people will copy you, just straight up copy you, and it's no longer unique to you. Which actually, that's another good topic to talk about. People are going to copy you no matter what, and people will make you feel bad, or people will try to make other people feel bad for taking something that's from the internet, and you have to kind of be okay with that sometimes. Like if you post something or if you post how you do something, someone else is going to do the same thing. So if you don't want other people to do it, don't post it. Like that's why I don't post how I edit, because I don't want people to copy exactly how I edit. That would be me talking about myself. Or that would be me being contradicted to myself. Let me see. Cat Pilot said, have you ever considered opening your own spa? Because you are a queen of self-care and pampering, I can honestly see your spa will be golden. Yes, I have thought about it, but it would be something that I do later. Like I would want to have a business established before I do that, because that would take time for me to do. I would have to go to school to be an esthetician, all the extra stuff. So I may or may not have a business plan in the works that may or may not relate to that. So y'all stay tuned for that, because it might be coming. Something like that might be coming. May or may not be coming. Possibly. We'll see. You didn't hear from me. You heard it from your neighbor or somebody, not from me. I'm not going to stay on too long. I'm just going to stay on for maybe like another 20 minutes or so, because I don't want to keep you all too long. But let's see. Tanasha Thomas said, how has your degree helped you with YouTube? If I have to be completely honest, I don't feel like it helped much, because even though the topics that we learned related to what I was doing, I had already learned most of the stuff on my own, or we were learning it in a way that was not catered to the social media space. It was more so catered to like regular like TV and web and things that is not like now. You know what I'm saying? Because the way college is set up, it's based off of things that were popular years ago, and they just are still catching up to what's new and what's now. So I feel like even though I learned how things were before, that didn't really help me with how rapidly technology and social media is changing now. So it was on me to stay on top of what was changing and what was happening. I wouldn't really sit here and say that I learned much, or that I'm able to take what I learned from that and apply it to YouTube. I am happy to say that I have it on a piece of paper, that I am certified in this topic, but I don't know. It didn't really help me in what I'm doing now, even though I thought it was at the time. Because, like I said, initially I went in as business, and then I switched to digital marketing. So when I switched, I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I want to do, and then ended up not really being exactly what I wanted to do. So, like I said, I'm so behind. So give me a second. Oh, Chris Miller said, I'm surprised Jayla Majette, I probably said that wrong, isn't in a million either. That still bothers me. Jayla is another one of my favorite YouTubers that I've been watching since the beginning of time. And I also agree with that wholeheartedly. She deserves 1 million plus because of how authentic she is and how easily she connects like to people. I just love her. I'm still scrolling. Thank you guys again for all the congratulations. I'm probably not going to be able to get to all the messages on Instagram, but I'm going to try my hardest once I get off this live. Let's see. I'm so happy that so many of you guys are here. I've never gone on YouTube live. I've actually never gone on Instagram live either, I don't think. If I did, it was probably with a brand or something, but I've never done it on my own page. Oh, about my face. Yes, it's Kosas. I finally got the mascara. Let me see where it is. I was waiting to get this because this now completes my entire Kosas collection. I used it today and my lashes look amazing. If y'all didn't know, Kosas just dropped their new mascara. And of course, it has stuff to help your lashes grow too. So it has like some protein, it has castor oil, and then it's really volumizing. It's like really thick. And it has a little dip in it to help with curling your lashes. Y'all know I have really long lashes naturally, but I still love how it made my lashes look. Do you guys have any other questions about YouTube? Not really specific to camera stuff, because I can't really sit here and say what the best cameras are for YouTube. But what I can say is Google. Even now, like I will just Google the best cameras in 2020 for YouTube. And it will teach you, like it will tell you step by step what settings you should use. It'll tell you the best lens to buy, because sometimes it's not always about the camera. It's also about the lens that you're using. And I'm definitely going to do an in-depth video on my equipment and stuff, because I have talked about it and I've shown you guys, but I've also, since I've been in a new space, I've learned a lot more about my equipment. So I want to share those updates with you guys. But you really just have to do the research. And I feel like a lot of people are just expecting us to give the answers. And for me, I never really asked influencers or other influencers questions about stuff like that, because I always ask myself, is this something that I can Google? Or is this something that this influencer is going to look at me and be like, I posted that yesterday? You know, like I always try to do as much research as I can before I go in with questions, just because you should do that, but also just out of respect for that person's time. So I always take advantage of Google. There's also other platforms like, I can't think of the website right now, but there's this website that has a bunch of videos, not only YouTube, but like other step-by-step tutorials on how to use Final Cut Pro, how to use Adobe. I don't use Adobe. Adobe is too much. They try to force Adobe on me in college, and that just didn't happen. So yeah, but Final Cut Pro, they have all these videos. You just have to take the time to learn it. And that was something that was really important to me, was to get really good at what I do, because that's the only way that you're going to get better. So you have to invest the time into yourself. Hey to everybody who just came in. If you missed this, I'm definitely going to leave it on my page so that you guys can go back and revisit this. Or you can always just go back. And I think on live, when I watch the people's lives, you can go back in time and see. Okay, I'll answer this question. Shakira said, hey, congrats, girl. Thank you. Quick question. How did you stop your hair from flattening when you sleep? Because I just cut my hair and I wake up and it's flat to my scalp. So I don't even try to control my hair when I sleep, not when it's this length, because it's just kind of impossible for it not to flatten. My hair, it just molds to whatever it's in. So like even if I have on a scarf, or if I have on a bonnet, it's still going to smash to my pillow. And when I wake up, there's no way for me to reform it, especially because my hair has to be wet for me to style it. So honestly, I'll either completely restyle my hair, which I don't do every day, especially being in quarantine, but I'll either completely restyle my hair or I just will put on a hat or something. Like, I don't even try to um, make it so that my hair doesn't get flat, because it's going to get flat. It's only when your hair gets longer where you're able to like pineapple it or make little sections so it doesn't get flat. But at this length, it's impossible. It's like impossible. Malene Rose TV said, at what point will you leave Apple and go into full-time entrepreneurship? So that's another thing. I had plans to leave a while ago, but I just kind of didn't. I feel like when you have, even if it's a part-time job like what I have, you have to feel comfortable to leave, especially because you're used to having consistent income, even if it's just a part-time job. And I just want to feel comfortable. So I'm going to stay as long as I need to stay. It's not like a job that I hate. I actually love it. And so I wouldn't just leave just to say that, oh, I'm a full-time entrepreneur now. Like, no, I'm going to save my money. I'm going to leave when I feel comfortable doing so, especially because I have the vision to know that, okay, this is going to be my last job. And when I'm done, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. So I'm not trying to cheat it. I'm not trying to like just leave just for the sake of leaving. I'm going to do it as long as I need to do it until I get to a point where I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing for real now, without leaving and then kind of regretting it or getting to a point where I'm not making enough to, satisfy myself or keep up with what I got to keep up with. I'm going to stay until I feel comfortable to leave. Oh, I'll put the name of the mascara in the chat. So it's Kosas. I think it's Big, the Big Clean. It's also on my Instagram if you want to go check it out. I'll put the link on there because I was trying it for the first time on Instagram. And so, yeah. But I also really like the Benefit Bad Gal Gang mascara. Bad Gal Gang. Benefit Bad Gal Bang mascara. That's the one that I use the most often. But now I think this is my new favorite. Thank you guys again for all the congratulations. Anique Rose said, "Hey girl, congrats. Do you have vision boards and writing down your goals?" So I did create a vision board at the beginning of 2020, but that vision board, I mean, I think we all had a certain expectation of this year, and it's completely not what it ended up being. But I don't really make vision boards like as a manifestation technique. I feel like for me, it's just speaking what I want out loud and then going for it. So like I'll say I want this, or I'll say I want that, or I'll even just in my head, I'll look at something and be like, okay, I want that. But then it's not enough to really say you want it. Like you have to come up with a plan to make it happen. So everything that I'm looking towards right now, I definitely have written down, and I have a timeline, or not really a timeline, but like a step-by-step guide to how I'm going to get there. So like, just to give you guys an example, by the end of this year, I want to pay off all my credit cards. So in my notes on my phone, I have a step-by-step like monthly plan for me to pay off my credit cards. And then I just mentioned that I want to start my own business. So I've been looking into the money that's going to take for me to start that business. So in my phone, I have a list of the expenses I'm going to have and different ways for me to be able to make that money, or different ways for me to like just get closer to be able to having that money. Because sometimes it's not really about having an exact plan, but if you just write it down and you say, by this time I need this, or by this time I need that, the universe will do weird things where it will like hand it to you almost. But you have to say it, and then you have to do things to get towards that. Even if it doesn't happen when you say it's going to happen, or even if it doesn't happen the way that you want it to happen, at least it's out there and you're working towards it. And one way or the other, it's going to come to you. So writing down things definitely big for me. Making mental plans or trying to plan things is big for me. And that, yeah, for sure. But like I said, vision boards has never really been a technique that I have done, but other people do it all the time and it works for them. So like if you see something that you want, or you have an idea of something, I would definitely say like put pictures of it places, put it out there, because it's just different ways for you to put out what you want. And the more that you put it out there, the more that you are actually working towards it, the universe will work in your favor. But like I said, it doesn't stop at just saying it. You have to do things to get closer to that. Let me see. The avocado. Oh my God, where did I get the avocado from? I think it was in a PR package that I got from Dr. Dennis Gross, because they had a collection that was like avocado based or something, and they sent it. It's actually a stress ball type of thing. But yeah, I think that's all. I barely drank any of this. I'm gonna drink it now. It's good to be in a comfort zone, be you, and do what you do. Yes. Who said that? I'm not even gonna try to pronounce your name, but it ends in Owens. Shout out to you. I agree 100%. The more you try to do what other people are doing, the harder it's gonna be for you to walk in your own path. And yes, Ash Am said be intentional. That's another big thing. Okay, let's take it back to when I was saying I was just posting just to post. That was stupid. Okay, it wasn't stupid, but it was like I wasn't being intentional about what I was posting. I was just posting. And people liked what I was posting, but it wasn't like, it was benefiting me to know that I was helping people. But because I wasn't being intentional, I wasn't growing a following. I was just helping random people, and then they were just leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like they were getting information from me, and then they would never come back to me again. So I had to be intentional about the way that I was delivering information in a way that would make people want to come back to me. And once I started doing that, and I started creating content that was, like you said, intentional or create or served a specific purpose, I found that people stayed and people, wanted to keep seeing what I was posting. So yes, be intentional and be purposeful. Yes. You always want to be purposeful. I try not to post things that, because I hate when people are so just, what's the word? Can somebody give me the word? They just post things and it has no substance. It has no purpose. It's just like, this is me in a cute outfit. That's it. Like, you have to connect with people in a way that shows not only that you're a human being, but shows that you have information to offer. Unnecessary, unorganized, robotic, yes, all those things. Just know, like, are you even a human, or are you just posting because you look good? You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. I'm just coming up with more things to say. I don't fit like the typical like Instagram person that goes viral. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in my field, people typically repost people with long hair, people with looser curls than me, people that do like those Instagram makeup looks. Like, I just don't really fit that category. And it was hard for me to accept that at one point, because I'm like, okay, this is how I feel the most comfortable, but this doesn't get likes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gets likes, but it doesn't get the kind of likes that I thought I deserved. So that was another like self-realization thing that I had to go through. It's like, okay, you might not fit that profile, but you're being you, and people like that. So keep doing that, because somebody's going to connect with you somehow, even if it's not thousands and thousands and thousands of likes. Somebody connects to you and somebody likes it. So keep doing it. You never know who's watching you, and you never know how what you're saying or what you're posting is going to affect somebody else. Yes, and shallow. That's another good one. Kyla says she's been subscribed since my channel with my two friends. Yeah, it was called True Sage, and it was Kasia and Daniela. Unfortunately, we're not friends anymore, but that's a whole different story time. Cat Pilot said, there are many videos and programs to help you edit your videos. YouTube is more of a vibe to me. If you're feeling it and your subs are too, more people will follow. Did I read that? Am I stupid? But yeah, no, I agree. Like, I feel like another reason why it's hard for me to grow quicker on Instagram is because I like making thorough content. So it's really hard for me to make a 60-second video. That's why I don't really post the regular Instagram, like in-feed posts anymore. I always do IGTV because I need to be thorough. Like, that's just, I enjoy doing that. I hate watching content and it's not thorough or the person doesn't explain things completely because it's like, I didn't even get anything from this. So like, what was the point? So, and also because I started on YouTube, it's really hard to, like, you're used to creating videos that are 10, 15 minutes long, and then you want me to go on Instagram and make it 60 seconds. Like, no. I feel more comfortable posting on YouTube than I do on Instagram. And then I also don't really like taking photos like that. Like, I do it just because, but I prefer being on video. Like, I don't really like taking selfies. I don't really like taking photos, even with my camera or my video camera. It's just weird to me. And I've never really felt comfortable like that for other people to take my photos. I've always liked taking my own photos. So I don't know. My Instagram grew when I had hair, really. And every time I would switch my hair, like every time I would dye my hair red or I would cut it or I would do something dramatic, people would follow me. But I didn't really grow my Instagram as fast as my YouTube because I wasn't doing tutorials like I was on YouTube, you know? And I wasn't posting pictures like as often as I was posting videos on YouTube. To me, it's actually easier to grow on Instagram if you're willing to post often, but I just liked YouTube more. And I started on YouTube, so I felt more comfortable on YouTube. Lakeisha Powell said, people do things for other comfortable type, which makes it hard for those who want to show who they really are without negativity. That's true too. Frenchie's looking at my feet, and I have on socks, so that was weird. Which is why I don't post, because I don't like negativity. But watching your videos changed my perspective and got me using new products that I adore. Oh yeah, I'm glad I could show you some new products. That's another thing that I love doing, is showing people new products, because I get so excited when I find products that I like. So I'm like, I gotta share this. But yeah, that's really true. Like, people, no matter what you post, people are either gonna like it or they're not gonna like it. And unfortunately, the negativity will outweigh the positivity if you let it. Because once one person comments something, then 10,000 people feel like they have to comment. And it's just like, okay, not only did I not ask for the first comment, but now all these other people want to come in and add their own comments. So that's why I said you have to be really careful about what it is that you share. And you have to figure out what it is you have a strong muscle for. So like, people talking about me, or people talking about my hair, or people talking about my makeup, or people talking about, you know, things that are external does not bother me. I don't care about that. But when people talk about things that I care about or like things that are personal to me, that can bother me. So I have to be careful about what I share. And there's ways to stay private and still, you know, grow. Because like I said, you just have to be careful about what it is that you say and what it is that you share. And have you ever been shadow banned on IG? I think that I didn't know that it was necessarily shadow banned, but like I would say like a year ago when shadow banning first started, I think I was shadow banned because of something that I posted having to do with I think it was something political. I don't even remember, but I didn't know it was shadow banning back then. So I just thought, okay, like people aren't seeing my posts anymore. Like, that's weird. And that's another time when people were talking about the Instagram algorithm changing. So I was like, okay, maybe it's just because the algorithm is changing. But now that I'm learning more about what shadow ban means, I'm like, okay, maybe I was shadow banned. But I don't know how I got out of it. It just kind of happened. So I'm not the best person to ask about stuff like that. Oh, my mom is here. She says, congrats on your Baltimore family. Thank you, mommy. Jonathan said, so what's next for you? 500K. Okay, I'm going to actually end on this. So yes, it was a goal for me to get to 300K, but I didn't really, I'm not gonna say I didn't try, because I definitely tried, but I kind of just put my head down and I did the work. Like, I didn't really keep checking to see every milestone. I feel like I cared when I got to 250, I cared when I got to 275, but it wasn't like, this is what I want and this is when I want it. Like, I just kind of, like I said, I put my head down and I just kept posting, and then it just kind of happened for me. So I might reach 500K faster than I reached 100K, or faster than I reached 200K. So I don't really know. I can't really say. But the goal is to just keep growing, to keep learning, to keep getting closer to what it is that I'm really supposed to do. Because like I said, the end goal for me was always to have my own business, but I want it to be a purposeful business. I want it to be something that I invest into, something that's not like anything else. So what's next would be to just keep doing what I'm doing. That's what got me to where I am. And so I feel like as long as I just keep, like I said, doing what I'm doing, then it's just going to reveal itself to me what I'm supposed to do next. So yeah, I've been talking for 56 minutes. This is the longest time that I've ever sat down to talk to anybody. So you guys should feel special. I'm like out of breath from talking so much. Unless everybody's agreeing, stay true to yourself. You can't please everybody. Yes, you're right. The world does need more diversity. People are just afraid. Yeah, okay. So like I said, I'm going to keep this live up so that if you came in a little bit late and you want to go back, you can watch it. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Why would I say that in a live? I'm just used to saying that in my videos. I'm going to continue drinking my drink, and then I have some more that I'm probably going to drink as well. I'm going to get some good food because I'm hungry and I deserve it. And yeah, thanks again for all the congratulations. I'm going to go back on my Instagram and try to catch up on all the comments that I missed. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.